Hello learner, I welcome all the students at NIOS studio, myself Dr. Alok Kumar Upadhyay, reader in special education, All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, Mysore. Today I will discuss with all of you about the topic that's name is assistive devices for multiple disabilities. As the topic, we will discuss about the children with multiple disabilities and the assistive devices that will help in the life of children with multiple disabilities. So, let us start. The first thing is, who are the children with multiple disability? The children who have a combination of severe disabilities are called multiple disabled. Caring for multiple and severe disabled children is never easy, and they need an enormous amount of time, patience and love. All those children who have a multiple disabilities, as we are seeing, they have, or as we know, they have a more than one disabilities. So, the patience of the caretaker or patience of the teacher should be double. Time whatever we will spend, that should be also more than double, and the love what we are showing to the children, that should also be more than double. So, what adaptive devices will help to children with multiple disabilities? As we all know, the assistive devices are those devices which help the person in day-to-day life, or by which they can easily go through by their life. So, for children with multiple disabilities, there are several type of devices that can help in the life of children with multiple disability. The first one comes under this list is known as adaptive furniture. Adaptive furniture means the adaptive chair. Whatever chair we are using, that is for our purpose, because we have no difficulty, we have no problem in sitting. But some children, especially children with cerebral palsy, children with autistic spectrum disorder, or children with locomotor disability, for those children we should have the adaptive chair, or the chair for children with cerebral palsy is known as CP chair. We should also have corner stools, lap boards, standing frame, mentioned in a position a child with cerebral palsy or other type of disabilities. So, by giving these furniture, these adaptive furniture, all these furniture will be helpful in sitting of the child or the children. Next assistive devices is known as mobility aids. So, to move from here to there is easy for us, because we do not have any type of difficulty or the problem. But those children who have more than one disability, and more than one disability is the type of mobility difficulty, then for those children mobility aids are very important. In mobility aids, the mobility aids are the appliances used to help people who have difficulty in walking. They enable some of the body weight to be supported by the upper limbs. Selection of a specific type of mobility device depend on several factors. There are several type of mobility devices, but which mobility device is suitable for what type of children, it depends on their disability or their difficulty or other factors. So, one by one we will discuss. The purpose of using the mobility device, the indoor or outdoor environment in which it will be used, the efforts required by the individual to use the device, positioning need, optimal use of functional activity such as eating, transfers, augmentative communication, personal hygiene and school activities. So, all these are the several factors for what factor we want to use the movable aid or the device. So, according to that we will prefer the device, mobility device. So, mobility device are of several types, as I told you, according to the several factors. So, what is suitable for us, or in what situation which device will be suitable, that we will use. So, in this mobility devices, the first one come prone scooters. These are very useful for children with multiple disabilities. These prone scooters require the use of arms and the ability to lift the head while moving. So, by the prone scooter, the whole body we can put in this scooter, and by the hand the child can move these scooters. So, these will be helpful. Advantage of these type of prone scooter is child has a greater access for playing on the floor. Some children might be able to get on and off independently, tuning easier than other types of mobility devices. By this prone scooters, if child cannot move move through their legs or other reasons, so by this way they can move easily here to there, and when they will move here to there easily, then it will be good for access purpose, and independently they can turn here and there. So, this device, mobility device, is very important, but one disadvantage or some disadvantages of this devices are also there, that is fatigue from maintaining neck and back extension. Head is more vulnerable to hitting objects because head is always out of the or it come first. So, whenever any strike will come, the head will be the first. So, head will always be vulnerable to hitting objects. Hands may be get caught in the casters or rubbed on the rough surfaces, difficult for the child to view the environment above the ground level. These are the disadvantages of these prone scooters. Caster carts, this is another mobile aid, offer children with upper extremity function such as those with spina bifida, another means of mobility. The children with those children who have a spina bifida, for those children this is a good aid or a good assistive device. By this they can move easily. Advantage of this device is can be used either indoor or on a flat outdoor surface such as playgrounds. Some may be able to transfer on and off independently because of the close proximity to the floor, but some disadvantages are also there. In disadvantages, it requires a considerable amount of energy expenditure for propelling long distances. Because of a small diameter of the wheels, children with lower extremity muscle contractures and tightness may find it difficult to sit comfortably in long leg sittings. Next, under this device is come mobile stander, and mobile stander is also very important device. When a child has upper extremity function to push the wheels, these devices allow for lower extremity weight bearing in a standing position. Indoor mobility is achieved using large handheld wheels for self propulsion. So, this is the device as you seeing in the picture. It is also important device and it is very helpful for children who have not a good mobility or who do not have any type of mobility. They can use this for the purpose. Next comes as a parallel bars. The parallel bar are used when the patient is unstable or to correct the gait pattern. They are rigid, support the child right through the length of the bar. So, by the you can see in the picture, one picture is there or one photo is there. Here one parallel bar is there. So, by that they will put their hand and they will try to move from one side to other side. Children who have ability to pull to a standing position and maintain a grip may be able to use the handheld walker. These walkers are designed for use either in front of or behind the child. One disadvantage is that it is difficult to climb stairs with the help of the walker. The next device I discussed you, that is the walkers. So, walker is also very important and it is very common. You can see in day to day life anywhere, these walkers are very important. So, by the help of the walker, anyone can move from here and there is no any fear of to fall off or fall down anywhere, because they are very proper. But the difficulty or disadvantage in these walker is this, that we cannot climb the stair. If we want to climb to stairs by the help of these walker, it is very difficult and it is always risky, especially for child purpose or the children purpose. Next is crutches. Crutches are used to give additional support where strength is inadequate and balance is imperfect. So, when we have not a good balance or balance is imperfect or strength, we do not have to stand ourselves by our own legs, there is not so adequacy in strength, then we can use the crutches. Crutches are very important and very common in day to day life. These are also a very good assistive devices for multiple disabled children. Wheelchair. Wheelchairs are either manual or powered. Manual wheelchairs depend on the user or an assistant for propulsion, whereas the power depend on a motorized unit that the individual accessing using a switch or a joystick. So, now in our society we have a both type of wheelchair. If we want a manual wheelchair, the manual wheelchair for any child is very good, because it is going through by the help of any other person, or child can move through by himself using the wheel. And we have also a powered devices. Powered devices means the electric motor is there, and by that motor it will start and it will automatically going on. There is no need for help of any other person or using the manual work in this device. So, these are also very good assistive devices, and we can use for multiple disability children who have one of the problem is the mobility problem. The next is communication board. Communication board is also very important if a child with multiple disability, and in multiple disability, one disability is related to communication or speech or language or hearing. For that purpose, we have this type of assistive devices by which the child who are deaf or who have a communication problem because of speech or because of language. So, we can use these communication board, and by these communication board they can express themselves to others, and others can also understand what the child want to express. Another device is known as counting frame. Counting frame is also very important if child with multiple disability has one of the disability is intellectual disability, or child has a combination of disabilities like a visual impairment and intellectual disability, or any one of them with another type of disability, then we can use the counting frame. So, by the counting frame, this counting frame can help them to learn mathematics, and it is very mathematics numbers, in mathematics the numbers. So, these are very helpful for the children with multiple disabilities. Writing aids. Writing aids is another type of assistive devices for children with multiple disabilities, and if child has problem to holding things, means the child has some problem in hands. So, for that purpose we can use the writing aids, and by the writing aids they can write and they can go through by writing skill without any problem or difficulty. Next, a very good assistive devices for children with multiple disabilities, that is known as touching aids. Touching aids especially we can use when a child has one disability as a visual impairment, or we can say blindness. So, for that purpose the touching aids are very important. In touching aid, the blind children or children or the child have a one disability that is known as visual impairment or blindness. So, for that purpose they can feel the shape of the letters and the number, and by which they can understand what is written there or what is there in front of them. So, these touching aids are very important and very useful for multiple disabilities if one of the disability is blindness or visual impairment. So, let us be summarize what we discussed in this topic. The topic name was assistive devices for multiple disabilities children. So, for multiple disability children, we first discussed about what type of children known as multiple disability children. Under this, we discussed that the children who have more than one disability are known as multiple disabled children, and for those children it is very difficult for the teacher or the caregiver. So, double patience, whatever patience they should have for one disability children, double patience, double time, double love is required to taking care of these children. And after that we discuss about the assistive devices. In assistive devices, the assistive devices are those devices which will be helpful or beneficial to overcome the difficulty. They will be helpful or they will be enhance the capacity of the children if child has any type of difficulty. All those devices, those will enhance the capacity or capability, or those devices which will be helpful to overcome the difficulty are known as assistive devices. And assistive devices for multiple disabilities, there are several assistive devices what we discussed, from prone scooters to touching aids, and these devices are very useful for multiple children with multiple disabilities. I hope so that you all understand about the assistive devices for multiple disabilities, and now I would like to thank you. So, thank you very much.